Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, District Councillor Charles Sturt says he's up and running in his new lead role for the council in the sport and recreation area. The city's Blues Festival kicks off tomorrow, and 9 local players get the chance to trial for a place in this year's Steamers rugby squad. But first, 5 teenagers from Auckland and Rotorua appeared in court today, charged with burglary, receiving stolen goods and unlawfully taking a vehicle. Those arrests and further information from another member of the public led police to search an address in Rotorua last night where items and property linked to the aggravated robbery of Jerem's superette on Saturday afternoon were recovered. Detective John Hope says it's still too early to speculate on who was involved in the aggravated robberies at the weekend, and that investigation is ongoing. But further charges against the teenagers isn't being ruled out. He says police particularly want information about the movements of a silver Mazda Familiar Sports 20, similar to this picture, that was stolen in Auckland last Thursday and dumped at T Street, Rotorua between 3:30 p.m. that is, and 4 p.m. on Sunday. Information can be provided anonymously at Crime Stoppers 0800 555 111. And Rotorua District Councillor Charles Sturt says he's up and running in his new lead role in the sport and recreation area. He says his passion has been rekindled under Mayor Chadwick's leadership, and he's looking forward to getting Rotorua moving.
Passion has been renewed because we've got a new person driving the team at the top end, and we've got a new Chief Executive Officer who's upfront, honest, involves us all, and is working his butt off to get this town rejuvenated. We've been upfront in terms of opening the books. We got PricewaterhouseCoopers in to tell us what had gone wrong in the past. The misinformation I knew was happening and kept getting shut down by the previous mayor. And now it's the time to move forward, put that in the past. We've got a new financial controller, he's got things under control. It's just such a different team, honest. I'm just so excited about it. And to have been given the role that I've got in an area that I've been passionate about. I've coached teams, I've been involved in all sorts of sports over the years. I'm just moving forward. Let's get Rotorua moving.
And we have a special 2-part interview with Councillor Sturt tomorrow night here on City News. Queen's birthday weekend and blues once again go hand in hand in downtown Rotorua for the annual Rotorua Blues Festival. The lineup this year has a great selection of blues bands, including 3 international acts. Warren Houston from Rotorua Blues Club says the program also includes the youth guitar seminar and workshop.
Absolutely, it's part of our constitution that we promote blues amongst the youth, and so we've done all sorts of things to try and bring youth in, but this year, over the past 12 months, Simon and Mike Garner, our president, have put together a youth band, and they've been training them, and it's really progressed to the point now where they've done 2 public gigs. On
Saturday there's a concert at the Novotel as well as free entertainment at Eat Street, so it's going to be a great weekend, don't miss it. For more information you can visit bopblues.co.nz. Arts Village manager Tanya Short says the tree bomb installation at the front of the gallery is causing a lot of attention from passers-by. The work was coordinated by artist Annette Bates, who held workshops for people to create the woolen arts works for the tree bombing.
The reaction's been really awesome. My office is just up there, so I can see people out the window, and I've got a series of shots. When there's a crowd of like more than 10 people, I grab the camera and take a photo. And I've got a number of them. Yeah, so it's been amazing.
Yeah. Is tree bombing, is it a new craze?
I hadn't ever heard of it until like 3 years ago, and then one of our trustees told me that her daughters were into doing it in Wellington, so I looked it up online and went, hey, that looks amazing. Yeah. I know that we've got knitters and crocheters here, so why can't we do that? But actually in the end it turned out to be a lot more people from the wider community that got involved, not just the groups here, so that was amazing.
And in sport tonight, 4 Rotoiti and 5 Whakarewarewa players have made the grade for the Steamers trial game set down for next month. 43 Bay of Plenty players in total have been invited to take part in the game. Bay of Plenty Rugby Union CEO Mike Rogers says it's great to be able to bring back the trial game, which provides an opportunity for players in contention for the Steamers to go head-to-head and assist the Steamers coaches in making the decisions on who will make the final squad. The trial will be held at Murray Salt Stadium in Te Puke on Wednesday the 11th of June, 7 p.m. kick-off. And the weather update now. Tonight, fine weather continuing, southerlies easing, an overnight low of -1. And tomorrow for Wednesday, fine again with morning frosts, light winds and an overnight low of 0 with a high of 12. And looking out for Thursday, cloudy periods increasing, rain at night, northwesterlies, a high of 13 and a low of 9. The marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday, variables 5 knots, waves less than half a metre and fine weather. Still to come tonight on City News, we check out nominees for this year's Rotorua Hospitality Awards and we cover last week's visit by Labour Party leader David Cunliffe.
My pleasure now to be joined by Stevie Chadwick just before we are going to see the announcement of the nominees. Steve, it's a wonderful opportunity tonight to celebrate everything that is wonderful about hospitality in Rotorua. Why is this such an important thing to celebrate?
Because of the number of tourists and the locals here that are starting to understand the value of the industry to us. Where we bring visitors, we need good food, we need good wine, we need good baristas. And this is the night where we hear the nominees that are going forward for these hospitality awards. These are growing every year, and I hear there's a new category tonight about the People's Choice, and I think that's very clever because a lot of us are very smart diners.
And how can people in the community get in behind these awards, in behind the people that are doing it? What would your encouragement be to them?
I say go out and try and sample a bit of our fantastic local cuisine, local bars, local cafes and baristas. We're becoming quite sophisticated here with the coffee culture and people are eating out more and more. They don't have to spend a lot of money, but go out, sample it and then give us the feedback, and that's how we close that loop.
Wonderful. We are indeed so very proud of Rotorua and we are. Wonderful place, wonderful city, a very wonderful place to live and a place to be proud of. Well, I'm joined now by the lady at the helm, Sharon Wallace. Sharon, you have organised a spectacular evening. It is growing every year. How does it feel to see such success?
It feels fantastic. It's just so wonderful to see hospitality enjoying themselves and also being celebrated.
Absolutely. We've interviewed Steve Chadwick and she said how wonderful it is to see everybody being celebrated. You know, I'm salivating because of all the good food here. It's on my mind. Tell me a little bit about the hard work that goes in behind the scenes.
All right. Well, as soon as the awards are over, we are talking to potential sponsors, current sponsors. There is a lot of work. So the work goes on for a year. It goes on for 9 months previously before starting the awards.
Why do you do it?
Well, I love hospitality. I was brought up in hospitality. I just love it, and it's in my blood, and it's here to stay.
It is here to stay. The awards are here to stay, and they're also, they carry a prestige now in the industry. So are you happy with the result of your brainstorming from a few years ago?
Very much so. More than happy. I'm just ecstatic that the people in the industry have actually grasped the actual whole
the notion of it, the concept of it.
Of the awards, and run with it.
And run with it they are. You've got a new category as well this year, the People's Choice Awards.
So exciting.
It is, and we're going to be interviewing one of the nominees soon, and they are all very excited. They are a group of very energetic young people, and so obviously we have amazing talent here in Rotorua. What's next for the awards? How is that talent going to grow?
I think it's really important to recognise that the young people are coming up. Hence, I have my young students, because I tutor at Waiariki in the Diploma in Hospitality. They're here tonight. They're volunteering their services for hospitality. And for that, I'm really grateful. And it is a culture that is inbred in Rotorua. I think with the Māori culture and with us, we are just mine host.
Absolutely. I was actually just going to say that in Rotorua we are known for our manaakitanga, our hospitality, so that surely must permeate down through you into your students. Can you explain what manaakitanga is?
Okay, manaakitanga is welcoming, making people feel at home, and it's about the food, the making people relax, comfortable, and mainly the food and the friendliness.
And the food.
And the food.
It's wonderful food. Well, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you would like people to know coming up and into the awards ceremony? When will that be?
29th of June. Now, the tickets sell out really fast. 2 days. As soon as the tickets go on sale to the public, they sell out within 2 days. So get your tickets, and the theme is glitter and gold. So use your imagination, and I want everybody to have fun and celebrate hospitality for an exciting, vibrant industry that it is in Rotorua.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for all of your efforts. Have an enjoyable night.
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, Opposition and Labour leader David Cunliffe is visiting Rotorua today, so I'm going to catch up with him and find out why he's here, and if Labour wins the next election, what it means for Rotorua.
For these souls, and should the sky be filled with fire and smoke, keep watching over doing so. We shall hold on together, watch the flames climb high into the and our Father, stand by and we watch the flames burn rolling to the side. We should die tonight, but we should all die together with a glass of wine. For our Father.
David Cunliffe, everybody. Kia ora tāmati, kia ora everybody. Absolutely wonderful to be here in Rotorua. Thank you so much for coming out to be part of the scene with the Labour Lounge. What have I done? Hang it off, maybe. Hang on, back here. I can yell, but I won't have to now. All right, that's great. Just to reiterate the acknowledgement not only of your wonderful Rotorua candidate Tamati Coffee, but also our education and, wait for it, forestry spokesperson, Chris Hinkins. So don't let him leave town without taking him out to the trees and, you know, psalm and all that stuff. And of course, Rawiri Waititi, the man who's going to win back Waiariki for Labour. Yes! Both Rotorua and Waiariki are very strategic seats for Labour in this election. And I want to start off by just acknowledging the extraordinary calibre of these two first-time but really natural candidates. They have got energy levels to burn. They have got style that you can see here at the Labour Lounge, and they have connected with so many people in such a quick time. It does my old heart good to see our tamariki and our rangatahi coming to join the fight for a fairer, better, more prosperous New Zealand with these guys leading the charge. Let's give them a big hand. Who heard that National's budget was Labour light? You heard that? It's rubbish. It's rubbish. Under National, they conveniently forgot 14,000 children of the poorest households because their family's package is not available to the families of beneficiaries. Ours is. They brought in paid parental leave, finally, after being persuaded by us, but theirs is only 16 weeks, ours is 6 months. So if you want Labour policy, the message to New Zealanders is very simple. Vote for a Labour government. And that means here in Rotorua and in Waiariki, 2 ticks. One for the party vote and one for these fine gentlemen that are going to set Parliament on fire. Yeah? I could not be prouder of the team that I lead in Parliament. And I could not be prouder of the calibre of the candidates that we have coming through, and you can see how these wonderful volunteers have gotten behind, and that does us proud too. And we have an important job to do this year, which is to save New Zealand from 3 more years of drift and division and a widening gap between the rich and the poor. And we have to turn that around now while there's still time. How are we going to do that? Who thinks that's too hard? I don't. I'll tell you why. Because in just about every opinion poll since I became the leader of the Labour Party, the difference between the parties of the right and the parties of the left has been less than 2%. It is today less than 2%. And I know from previous elections that we get more than 2% out of being on the ground and turning people out to vote. And I tell you what, we have more members in the Labour Party today than we have had at any time in the last 30 years. How do you like that? Thanks to you. Thanks to you. More than under Helen Clark, you've got to go back to the days of Norm Kirk to see as much energy and people in Labour than we have today. And we have doubled in the last 12 months. How do you like this? We have done more canvassing this election year by a factor of 4 than any other election year we can find. So the energy levels in our team are extraordinary. You know what that says to me? Come the 2 weeks of election day, the 2 weeks in which people can go to the poll, if you get them out, if the missing million remember to vote with your help, if all of the whānau and all of the hapu and all of the iwi get to vote, we get a new government. Because it only takes 1 in 4 of the couch potatoes to get off the couch, and we've got a Labour-led government. 1 in 4. Can we do that? Yeah. You know we can do that. So what are we going to do? Are we going to put our feet up and wait till 2017, or are we going to get these 2 good men into Parliament? We're going to get these guys into Parliament this year, are we? Can I hear a big strong yes? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we can. These guys are going to be MPs, and these young people are going to have jobs and opportunities that they deserve. Thank you very much.
Hi David, good to have you in Rotorua. What's your purpose of the trip today?
Just meet folks. We're here with Lab Party members. We've been doing radio, doing TV, doing local paper. We've been to the timber industry, Lockwood this morning, and we're going to Red Stag this afternoon. We're going to talk about jobs, about how we get more employment, particularly for youth right here in Rotorua.
And it's really specific here for Rotorua?
It's the forestry capital of New Zealand, all right? And we want to see good jobs in all our regions. So we're talking forestry in Rotorua today. Could be transport and Bay of Plenty tomorrow.
Now you mentioned you're pretty happy to have Tamati on the team. Have you got an idea when he's going to be put on the Labour list?
Tamati and Rawiri, because Waiariki is a strategically crucial seat as well, and they're both genuinely great guys. Look, no, that's not my decision. That's a matter for the party and its moderating committee. I'm sure they're both great candidates, and I'm sure that'll be well recognised.
Now you mentioned the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. If Labour gets into government, will you open that up for public scrutiny?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. I think a broad public debate is really important, and we'll be happy to open it up.
Yep. Now last year in September in the leader race at Labour, the 2 other candidates, Grant Robertson and Shane Jones. Yep, came to Rotorua, but you didn't. Any particular reason why?
Just there wasn't enough time. I had a big speech in Auckland that night, and I wasn't able to get to. The logistics just didn't work. I was doing a bit of a rewrite on the speech the night before, so I needed a couple of hours for that, and I just couldn't make the transport link work.
What do you want to be Prime Minister, David?
Help people. It's the only reason that makes it worth doing. You get well past the idea that being on TV is a big thrill. It's part of the job, and you're certainly not going to make a lot of money personally out of it, but you can help a country change. You can create jobs for young people. You can ensure families get a roof over their head, and you can make sure that our most vulnerable are protected, and that is an enormous privilege. And working with the Labour team, people have that heart for New Zealand, and they have the experience and the good policy that will make a difference. So it's been my life's dream to try and help that forward, and that's what I'm going to work for.
Have you got a message for the fence sitters who are yet to decide who to vote?
Yeah, it's you, the fence sitters, or the ones who stayed at home last time, who will decide the future of our country. And it needs to be decided now. It shouldn't be put off for 3 more years. If 1 in 4 of the couch potatoes and the fence sitters get off the couch, onto the roll and to the poll, you will change your country's future. I want you to believe that it is possible to do better than we are doing today. Not just for a few, not just for the top dogs, but so no one misses out. I want you to believe that change is possible. That's what I want.
Now, you mentioned also in your speech that there's a lot of new enthusiasm within the Labour team. Huge. Now, is that because of your leadership, or is it just realised that Labour's going to was in the poo?
No, I think what it was is partly the fact that we had an open leadership contest with 3 great candidates, and there was a wave of enthusiasm through that, and that put us on a pathway to doubling our membership, which that wave has continued since then, and we now have more members than at any time in about the last 30 years, which is great, and people are really enthusiastic about campaigning that's happening on the ground all around the country. So I think we're going to surprise some people, and I think this is going to be one cliffhanger of an election.
Now, you also mentioned that John Key has made a lot of lies since he's been our Prime Minister.
Yeah, he has.
Would you promise now on TV, on local TV, that you wouldn't make any lies as Prime Minister?
Yeah, I never lie. I never lie. There are times when it is legitimate not to put the full information in the public domain, and I don't blame the Prime Minister for doing that. By the nature of his role in intelligence and security, of course there are things he cannot and should not say, but a politician's word must count, right? Must count. And in that role, which is the context of that question, where we were talking about the untruths around how many times he'd met with Mr. Fletcher, in that role, the Prime Minister's word is everything.
It's been coming up on Campbell Live recently, hasn't it? Now, just final question, David. Bullying is a massive issue in our country and all around the world. I'm sure you know that.
Sure.
How can we expect our kids to treat people right and not be bullies when we see people like yourself and the country's leaders in Parliament bullying and mudslinging?
Yeah, I'm not proud of the fact that Parliament's
just say politics is not a good answer.
It's politics as usual, and I'd love to change that. And I'm learning as leader to not participate in that side of it as much as I did when I was younger. And so it's my commitment that I will be a leader who is respectful, and I hope strategic, and I hope inclusive. That's what I would like to be.
Right, good stuff. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, mate.
Awesome.
All right, cheers.
And that was Alan Solomon speaking there with Labour leader David Cunliffe. And if you have a news event that TV Rotorua can support, call our office and talk with one of our team on 07 34 88 984, or of course you can email us, and that's news@tvrotorua.co.nz. If you missed anything on tonight's show, you can watch it again at tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for having us at your place, from all the team here at City News, from Aria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.